And now we turn to our special edition of The Beat tonight, Law and Order's Trump versus the FBI. Tonight, Donald Trump's lawyers are trying to limit the scope of the Mueller interview with the president. Trump shuffling his legal team, adding Fox News commentator Joseph DiGenovese. But how did Trump get here? How did he find himself facing this criminal probe in his first year, something no president has faced? Well, a key chapter began 1 year ago today when James Comey dropped this bombshell on the Hill.
I have been authorized by the Department of Justice to confirm that the FBI, as part of our counterintelligence mission, is investigating the Russian government's efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election. And that includes investigating the nature of any links between individuals associated with the Trump campaign and the Russian government.
That right there, a year ago, was the first confirmation the FBI was investigating Trump and Russia. Pretty striking, considering Comey also kept the secret that he was doing a Hillary Clinton probe during the whole campaign. Now, experts say the announcement I just showed you there about Donald Trump and that probe paved the way to Comey's now infamous firing, which itself triggered the entire Mueller probe. Now, that's how we got here. I'm speaking to you on a night when 2 Republican senators are warning Trump he'll be impeached if he fires Mueller, and Comey preparing to break his silence with this book tour, as well as a now highly anticipated interview with my colleague Rachel Maddow next month. All this coming after these extraordinary past couple of days.
The Justice Department just last night firing the FBI's former number 2, Andrew McCabe.
He says he's being singled out for supporting former FBI Director James Comey after he was fired.
This is Brennan talking to the president. Will take your rightful place as a disgraced demagogue in the dustbin of history. You may scapegoat Andy McCabe, but you will not destroy America.
That is not the normal behavior in a democracy. That is the kind of behavior you see in an authoritarian regime.
What we have here is a White House that is orchestrating a massive cover-up, more serious than that of Richard Nixon.
His firing Mueller would precipitate in this country a constitution.
The first question in our special, and the issue that could decide whether Trump did criminally obstruct justice, is, were there real, legitimate reasons to fire Comey and McCabe? Donald Trump is the first president to ever fire an FBI director and his deputy, both times. Trump claiming the firings were over FBI officials breaking rules in the Clinton probe. Did they really break the rules? And if so, was that the actual reason for these firings? We turn now to one of the nation's top authorities on federal law. Neil Kochell's argued dozens of cases at the Supreme Court, working at the DOJ during the tenures of McCabe and Comey, and he was acting Solicitor General. Thank you for being here.
Thanks.
Your thoughts on whether the firing of Andrew McCabe is normal or suspicious?
More than suspicious. I mean, I think that it demonstrates really Trump's contempt for process and contempt for the rule of law more generally. I mean, normally you have a very intensive discipline procedure at the FBI. It's a process that goes through multiple layers and so on. You don't have a president truncating that by putting his thumb on the scale at the outset and saying, here's what I want to have happen, Mr. Sessions.
Right, and it was very publicly directed, which goes to the Clinton case yet again. I want to play for you what acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe told the Senate last May after Comey's dismissal.
I think morale has always been good. However, we had there were folks within our agency who were frustrated with the outcome of the Hillary Clinton case, and some of those folks were very vocal about that those concerns.
How does that look to you now?
Oh, I think it looks, you know, we don't know exactly what Mr. McCabe did or didn't do. Well, that's a report and a discipline process that we're waiting to unfold. The one thing we know is what Trump did. And he overall just kept on saying in his Twitter account over and over again things like, we got to get rid of this guy and the like. And that is just exactly the wrong way to go.
Then you have Jeff Sessions himself, who very publicly said he was recusing from all this. And then he said he would not be involved in anything involving the Clinton Foundation.
I have now decided to recuse myself from any existing or future investigations of any matter relating in any way to the campaigns for President of the United States.
You intend to recuse yourself from both the Clinton email investigation and any matters involving the Clinton Foundation, if there are any?
Yes,
any matters involving the Clinton Foundation, this was a firing over his description of the Clinton Foundation issue. Was this a violation of that statement?
100%. I cannot possibly understand how the Attorney General of the United States says he's recused from the Clinton Foundation investigation, but then metes out discipline to one of the investigators in that investigation. Just nonsensical. The whole point of recusal is to avoid any accusations that you're interfering. And obviously, if you're firing someone who's been one of the investigators, that's quintessentially being involved.
I want to turn now to James Comey, another part of this special. Everyone can recall in 2016 the press conference where he said there would not be charges in the Clinton case.
Our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case. Although the Department of Justice makes final decisions on matters like this, we are expressing to Justice our view that no charges are appropriate in this case.
That was highly unusual. Normally, the FBI director does not make those kind of announcements. I want to show people, for example, when Bob Mueller was FBI director, he would show up at indictment announcements, but always the Attorney General at the podium announced the charging decision. You could see that as well in 2001 and 2002 under Ashcroft. Mueller in the background. It was also the case under Holder, I should say. You could see that there. The point in the pictures is the same in the law. It is not for the FBI director to do that. Was Comey wrong to do that?
I think he was. Mr. Comey is a legendary public figure, public servant. He's done a lot of good. But when he did that, he made a mistake.
Apart from the charging decision, Comey made more freelancing during that decision. He talked about his view of Hillary Clinton.
There is evidence that they were extremely careless in their handling of very sensitive, highly classified information. Any reasonable person in Secretary Clinton's position should have known that an unclassified system was no place for that conversation.
Did that breach protocol, and does that affect his status as a witness today?
It certainly breached protocol. I mean, there's a reason why you don't have such statements made, and the Justice Department only acts through indictments. When you decline a prosecution, you don't go and tar and feather someone who you might have brought a case against and say, well, you did some bad stuff, because that person has no real avenue for recourse. After all, there is no criminal case for them to defend themselves anymore.
Are you seeing echoes of that today, where Jeff Sessions says McCabe was fired over Clinton Foundation media contacts, and then Trump goes on Twitter and talks about him as a witness?
That's the million-dollar question. And so far, these folks in the Trump administration, from the president on down, have not built any credibility with the American people. It's an ever-shifting story, and one that always looks at every turn like they're just trying to protect their own hides.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.